So let's talk about something that's quietly rebuilding the entire world of finance from the ground up. I'm talking about generative AI. It's way more than just a buzzword. It's a whole new architect for banking, for insurance, for investing, and we're going to break down what that really means for the industry and, for your wallet.
Okay, so let's just start with a question that I think we can all relate to. Why is banking still so hard sometimes? I mean, we've got these incredible supercomputers in our pockets, but trying to get a loan, or even just dealing with customer service, can feel like you're stuck in the dark ages. It's slow, it's complicated, and it's definitely not personal. So what gives?
Well, it turns out those frustrations we all feel are just the tip of the iceberg. The financial industry has been wrestling with these enormous, persistent headaches for decades. We're talking about a constant battle to upgrade ancient computer systems, fight off super smart cyber attacks, navigate this insane maze of regulations, and somehow try to stay ahead of fraud. These are huge, deep-rooted problems.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. Because what if there was a technology that didn't just chip away at one of these problems, but could actually take on all of them at the same time? Well, that's the promise of generative AI.
Now, this didn't just pop up out of nowhere. This whole generative AI movement is really standing on the shoulders of giants. You can see it here. It goes all the way back to the simple rule-based systems of the 50s and 60s, then the rebirth of neural networks, and then the really big one, the arrival of transformer models in the late 2010s. All that work, all those decades of breakthroughs have led us right to this moment.
So here's the part you really need to get, the big shift. Older AI? It was great at analyzing things that already existed. But generative AI? It creates new things, brand new, original content. It can write computer code, it can simulate what the stock market might do, it can even draft a financial plan just for you. It's not just an analyst anymore, it's become an architect.
And the engine making all this possible is something called the transformer architecture. What's so incredible about it is that it lets these AI models understand not just individual words or data points, but the context, the relationships between them. It gets the nuance, and that is a massive leap forward. So let's look at how this is actually being used to fix some of those big headaches we were talking about.
Okay, let's start with credit. The before and after here is just, wow. Traditional credit scores are so rigid, right? They look at this tiny little slice of your financial life. But AI can look at a much bigger picture. Your transactions, your utility payments, all sorts of things, to build a profile that's actually fair. And get this, lenders are seeing default rates drop by as much as 50%. That's huge. And it means more people can get access to the credit they deserve.
It's a similar story with fraud detection. The old way was basically a checklist. If this happens, then flag it. Crooks figured that out ages ago. Generative AI is more like a detective who's constantly learning on the job. It spots these tiny, weird patterns in real time and adapts to new threats instantly. We're already seeing major banks like HSBC report a 20% drop in fraud losses because of this. It's a totally different ballgame for security.
And oh man, customer support. We've all been there, right? On hold forever. AI is flipping that whole model on its head. It's going from a system that tests your patience to one that actually anticipates what you need. You get instant 24/7 help for the simple stuff, which frees up the human experts to handle the really tricky problems. It's just a smarter way to do things for everybody.
So, with all these amazing improvements, it's tempting to think this is some kind of magic wand for the finance industry. Everything's going to be perfect from here on out. Well, not so fast. It's time for a little reality check. Because putting this kind of power into practice comes with some really serious challenges.
Yeah, this road is definitely not a smooth one. You've got these massive technical hurdles, like how in the world do you plug this futuristic AI into a banking system that's decades old? Then you have the operational problems, like making sure the AI's predictions stay accurate when the market changes. And on top of all that, you have this web of regulations and, just plain old human resistance to doing things a new way.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of the ethical problem that keeps leaders in this space up at night. The exact same tools that can build a fairer, more efficient financial system could also be used to tear it down if they're not handled responsibly. The stakes could not be higher.
But here's the thing. When we're talking about all the risks of this new technology, we can't forget about the risks of the old one. Remember this number? 30%? That's how much sophisticated fraud the old systems are probably missing right now. So just standing still isn't the safe option. That choice comes with its own very real, very high price tag.
So, what's the right way to move forward?
Well, it's not about just flipping a switch and hoping for the best. It's about having a clear, thoughtful roadmap. You start with clear goals, you make sure your data is clean and secure, you test things out in small, controlled pilot programs, and you build in strong ethical rules right from the very beginning. This is definitely a journey, not a race.
Which, of course, brings us to the one big question that this whole transformation is leading to. With AI that can analyze our spending, predict markets, and even give us advice, will our next financial advisor even be human? The line is getting blurrier every single day. The future of finance is being written as we speak, and the real question is what part we all want to play in it.